Hey everybody, it's Pete. In this video, I'm going to walk you through something behind the scenes in one of our pre-market game plan meetings. As you know, in the boot camp, every day at 8:30 in the morning, we host our game plan meeting, which gets everybody ready for the day. This 10-minute segment that I'm about to show you, I think, is one of the most amazing pieces of advanced training that you can get for free right now. Enjoy the video and leave a comment below if you find it valuable and if you have any follow-up questions. Thank you so much. All right, so good question, John. All right, let's head on over to everybody's ideas. My pick for the day, SMAR, well bid on the daily and weekly, large engulfing candlestick on the monthly. All right, so let's take a look at the chart first, and then we'll get into the details there, the nitty gritty. Okay, so I just want to make sure we take a look at the volume. We want to make sure that it's trading sufficient volume to justify well over a million recently, but when it does slow down, it goes down into the 700,000. That's not horrible. 400,000 there. Okay. So let's take a look at the quality of the idea. That's the big thing, right? So he's correct here that this is a bullish engulfing candle. And that's actually, again, just to give some context, that's what we're looking for entries on the inside candlestick breakouts today on the daily chart, because let's just pretend for a second this is an inside candlestick and we're opening lower. It's probably going to take out the low of the inside candle, reverse back up, and then give us an entry price. So what I'm talking about is the signals that I gave everybody last night right here. So because we're getting a little bit of a lower opening, we're probably going to see a lower opening and reverse to trigger that inside candlestick breakout today. Okay. So we do have well bid here and bullish engulfing candlestick here. And we have a pretty good move here from 58 to 76. So let's take a look at the stock and what it normally does and determine if today is a good opportunity or a good time to buy the stock. But first, let's consider the order flow. Obviously, this bullish engulfing candlestick on the month is very good. It's bullish. We are well bid here on the weekly chart, higher highs and higher lows. The challenge we have now are two things. These are definitely green. So there's not a question. They're green. This is well bid, and this is closing near the highs, right? It closed near the highs for the month. Next, we take into consideration profit potential and the odds of follow through and how that profit potential comes into play with the risk to take on your initial entry and whether or not that risk makes sense right now. So we want to take risk because there's a good chance of making money. So we just talked about this just a couple of minutes ago. What is the average true move of this stock and is right now close to the optimal entry? So if we're looking at this move right here, let's say 63 to where it slowed down, that's a $10 move. If we look at this move, which is basically from here to here, even if we take it from here, let's say 69.50 to where it paused, that's roughly a $9 move. And then if we take the next move, 75 went all the way up to 85. That's a $10 move. So even on the high side, a $10 move is what the stock normally does. Okay. Our job is to find out what kind of risk should we take based on the optimal entry. How close are we to the start of this $10 move? Well, the stock just went $18. $18. Even if you give it from here to here and say it pulled back here and rallied, that's still $14. So whether it's an $18 move or you give it this one here and say it pulled back here and started a new move, 62 to 76, that's 14, which is a lot more than 10, a lot more than 8. So what does that mean for share size on this trade? Well, you need to calculate share size and expectation for follow through based on, is it bullish? Yes, it's bullish. It's obviously bullish. Does it have room to go? Yes. Obviously, the first level we'd probably looking for is this gap fill here, which is right around 81, maybe even if you say all the way up here, which is around 86. So we do have another $10 left in the stock. But the stock has just gone either 18 or 14, depending on how you're deciding to look at this average true move. So the stock has already gone further than what it normally does. Already. So that tells us we are not at the beginning of a $10 move. We're not even in the first 20% of a $10 move. We're actually at 120% of a $10 move or more, maybe at 140%. So how does that translate into buying this stock today? Because we need to make the distinction between, yes, it's bullish. How does that translate into what I do today? Well, we also know that we're at resistance. We've gone further than it normally does. So the most likely smarter trade right now is, number one, maybe look for a bullish echo today as a day trade if you want to trade the stock today. But as far as setting up a new swing trade, and what's most likely going to happen is that it's most likely going to pause here before it makes the next $10 run up to this new level. So if you decide to initiate a swing trade today, it would be lower share size here, fully watching and intending for the stock to have a pause and then take off again. So you have that choice. Day trade a bullish echo, looking for the same type of day as yesterday, knowing it's extended. Enter a new swing trade with lower initial share size because of it's the fact that it's at resistance and gone what it normally did. And then after the pause starts to take off again, you look for 2 times the ATR to add before it starts to approach new all-time highs. That one trade right there, I'd watch that again. That encapsulates a lot of stuff, and ironically, to make smart decisions. That just I don't know why I just happened to see that smart sheet giving us some smart lessons for smart trading decisions. I love that. That worked out perfectly, because the thing that most traders will argue or argue within their own head is, but it's a good idea. Yeah, it is a good idea. But is it a good idea right now? That last question is what most traders don't ask. And that's what's going to separate you from somebody who's frustrated out of your mind to somebody who understands there's a difference between good idea and good idea now. And that's ultimately where you're going to see your account grow slowly, consistently, predictably, ultimately quickly, when you understand how to put those pieces together. That's a great stock to start out today's game plan discussing, because it adds all of the elements to the trade decision, not just whether or not it's a good idea. I'd watch that section again.